Hello, and
Hello.
uh,
Sorry.
hello, and
Welcome to Smashing Secrets
and
Feng Shui.
uh, and I'm Chloe.
I'm Joe, and I'm very pleased to meet you.
Oh, was this awkward? I thought I knew my whole life. It must have been someone else. Whoops,
No, this is
that's a bit awkward.
Oh, should we start again?
No.
don't poke this out. I sound terrible. I
No,
don't
you
know. I don't know
don't.
what happened.
All right, let's try that again. Hello, and welcome back to Smashing Secrets Feng Shui. This is our second introduction, and you've just heard the first version, but Mum asked me to get rid of it, but I thought it'd be funny if I didn't. How are you, Mum?
Oh, suitably humiliated, embarrassed, in need of some water.
Nice, nice, nice. I've got some water here. Is
Mm.
everyone else hydrated where you are?
I
Hope
know,
so.
because what's going on? It's like really hot, really humid. It's like,
Mm.
for a lady of a certain age, it's quite sweat inducing.
Yeah, it's quite sweaty. Yeah, the flowers in the garden aren't enjoying the heat either.
Mm. What about the boys? How's Robin and Theo coping with the heat?
They're fine. Yeah, we look after them very well. They talk back to us. The flowers are a bit more quiet. They're like,
Are they?
"Help me! I'm so thirsty."
Are you watering them in the evening? Because it don't watering
Yeah.
them. Yeah, good girl. Well done, clever girl. Taught you well.
Uh huh.
Carry on.
So, welcome back, everyone. This is episode 49. We're one away from 50. That's a bit of a milestone. I reckon on our 50th episode, we might reach 20,000 listens as well, which would be very cool.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
We're nearly there, so it could go hand in hand, but two milestones. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
That's all thanks to you.
Tell your friends.
And yeah, and on today's episode, I was having a nap earlier, and do you ever find when you're having a nap and then ideas just shoot into your head? Do you know what I mean? That happens to me like so often, and like a lot of the time for me actually it's poetry, and I'm just using like these lovely play of words, and I'm just like, oh, that sounds so nice. I'm just like, oh, I really should get up and write this down. But I'm just like,
Oh, I
just
get
gonna go
that
to
in the
sleep
morning, when you wake up from a really sort
like a
of,
dream.
yeah, yeah, and you think,
Yeah.
I must write that down. And
Yeah,
the
then it goes.
minute you get up, the minute you
Yeah,
move,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You just got that shadow, that lingering sort of,
yeah.
I knew there was something.
And that's the thing. You're conscious that there was something there,
Mm,
but you just
mm,
don't know what it is.
mm, mm, mm,
So anyway, this episode is inspired from that moment, that bit of serendipity.
mm.
And so I was having a nap today, and I didn't actually sleep. I didn't even write this idea down. I just remembered it. So pat on the back for me there. And I thought what could be good to discuss today is the timings of feng shui. And
Cool.
Mom agreed that this was a good idea. I've got a few questions,
Well,
but
let me just
yeah, let's hear it from you.
okay, just to interject just ever so much slightly, is it's a vast subject because there's two sides. Well, feng shui's got so many different facets. So you've got the landscape, which is land formations that obviously doesn't change. That you can move, but you can't move a mountain. So you can position yourself in a certain area so that you can draw in the positive energy of the environment. But that's that,
Mm.
and that can have time influences as well. But when you go to formula feng shui, and I know we mentioned it briefly, I think last time, that's super duper time sensitive. There's so many cures and enhancers, activation dates and times, which can make all the difference. Huge, huge differences. So because stars are continually moving, and energy doesn't stay still; it's continuously moving. Then it is about timing. I mean, it's true.
Mm. Mm.
Timing's crucial in some formula.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you kind of put it down to the black and white, it's the timing of when we came into this planet.
Existence.
Yeah, that kind of finishes the story of
Or
our.
starts the story. The
Yeah,
beginning of your sort of identity in this dimension. It's
yeah.
your interaction with what's around you.
So it's like a total feedback loop, really.
I mean, we know that energy cannot be destroyed, it can only transform into something else. We know in quantum physics, which is just an emerging, I mean, I know it's been around forever and scientists are still investigating, but it's something that is very difficult to understand, other than there are lots and lots and lots and lots of possibilities of the same thing happening simultaneously. So it means that energy can come through in all kinds of forms, all kinds of scenarios, and but there are patterns, and timing is a huge pattern. We in Chinese metaphysics in Bazi, it's you can see patterns really clearly. So once you get used to it, once you sort of get used to how the patterns keep repeating themselves with slight variations, you can start to make really big changes.
Mm. So let's put on. I'm going to put on a cap where I'm totally new to feng shui,
Good.
and I'm aware that if I move some stuff around in my bedroom, or if it's going to be in my bedroom, if it's going to be somewhere in my house. If I move some stuff around and I follow particular rules against my chart, what is the time frame for me to start seeing the benefits of doing that?
Well, I mean, you're not necessarily. I mean, okay. So feng shui is about space. So you're moving around your furniture to get spatial awareness. So that's really good. If you add time, then you can choose a good time, a time when there's lots of positive stars that will be stimulated by the movement of the furniture. But if you don't add in time, you may mistakenly activate some negative stars. And do you remember last month I did that? I did like but completely
Mm.
by mistake, and I got two speeding tickets. Because anyway, it's a long story, but I really screwed up. So
But was that like an instant thing?
yeah,
So what happened exactly? So for people that
so
aren't aware.
okay, so I was rushing, and there's something called there's a school of feng shui called Chi Men Dun Jai, and it's got quite a spiritual aspect to it. So I was activating um, something called flying bird falls into the cave, and I needed to activate it in a certain direction at a certain time. So it's time sensitive, and I was like
Mm.
right up to this. I I'd forgotten to do it, so I was right up to the limit, and I thought, oh my god! So I quickly rushed it. I didn't take my measurements properly. I mean, I do have my floor plan with all the 24 mountains marked out, and I've got an idea of where each one is. I put it in the wrong one,
Oh
and
no. Is
yeah,
that just because like you ran out of time in that
yeah.
like that
No, I was
pocket?
rushing. I was rushing.
Yeah.
When you do feng shui, you shouldn't rush. You can make mistakes.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
live and breathe this stuff. So I
Oh,
mean,
this is
even
like, yeah, this is classic. Even the pros make mistakes. Like
oh,
people need to remember that as well.
I'm human.
Exactly.
And boy, did I get kick up the arse, because I thought, maybe a bit egotistical. I thought, yeah, I've nailed this. I literally used a nail.
Literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got my hammer and nail, and I put it in, and sure enough, I activated the wrong star. And I activated a negative star
Mm.
at a time when it was quite potent. And I think it was a day later, I had to go to, well, we went to Nan's, and we were very busy, and we were sorting out the loft and what have you. And I was filling the car up with loads of
Oh
bags.
yeah, and this I was there to help. So I was filling up mum's car with stuff and the car was like full of stuff
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and neither of us picked up Mum's bag for her to
Mm-hmm.
drive home, and this is about this journey can sometimes take 2 hours from Nan's to Mum's. I think we
Yeah.
did it in an hour. And so Mum got there and realised, oh no, because actually there's a little bit more detail to this. So Mum, on her way back home, Mum, very lovely, she dropped me off at the tube station that's near Nan's. So she drops me off, and then she's driving away. We wave goodbye to each other,
Yeah.
and then I'm walking into the tube station, and I get a call from Nan, and she's like, "Chloe, Mum's left her phone," and I was like, "Oh no," because like now you're gone. I've got no way of contacting you to tell you that you haven't got your phone. And I'm just like, oh no, like, oh, I'm like really trying hard to like go inside your head. I'm like, Mum, phone, phone,
Do you
phone.
know, it was so weirdly, as I'm passing Men's Road, I was thinking, oh, how funny. I should just go and say, hello, how are you? Because I'm just, yeah,
Really?
because I was literally, and it was the sun was setting. It was really, beautiful, tranquil. And
Oh,
I literally went past
so
Men's
frustrating,
Road and
yeah.
just was like, oh, maybe I should just say goodbye.
So as this was happening, about 10 minutes later, like Nan and I are texting each other, like saying, "Oh my god, I hope she realizes," and all of this stuff. And I'm like suggesting, "Oh, maybe we should get like a cab and put her phone in there." But then like the cab might beat her to the house, and then Mum will be really confused, and like the timings won't work. She won't be aware of the situation. We're just like, "Okay, that can't work." We have to hope that she comes back. And then like 10 minutes into having this conversation with Nan was just like, "She hasn't got her keys. I've got her keys. I've actually got her whole bag." And I'm like, oh no, like you're gonna be so annoyed. So Mum gets home, lo and behold,
Empty the
realizes,
car, empty the car,
yeah, it's like
which was
late at
full,
night.
and it's a big car.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, empty the car. I think, where's my bag?
yeah. So this is like the first like bad luck, right? So then Mum has to drive back home to Nan's all that way back, another like hour on the journey. And if I'm right, Mum got a speeding ticket on the way back.
Well, yeah, I got I got fined. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think I was speeding. I certainly didn't see the camera go off, but yeah, lo and behold, I've got a ticket.
So like another strike, bad
Bummer.
juju. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Was there any other ones after that?
yeah. Well, I get to Nan's. Luckily, I mean, Nan was sort of a bit wide-eyed because she thought I might freak out, but luckily I was
Yeah.
laughing.
Because it's not been the first time this has
It's not the
happened.
first time this has happened.
Hopefully the last.
There is a good 10 years in between, but yeah, everyone knew my behaviour of the first time. So everyone was a
Angry.
bit like, whoa, what's she going to do? But actually, I laughed because I was, sheepish and a bit embarrassed and a bit like, oh, you silly cow. So yeah, picked up my
Happens to the
car,
best of us.
picked up the bag, picked up the keys, got my phone, drove all the way back, and yeah, got flashed. So I knew I had one ticket coming, and I was really feeling really rubbish about it. But c'est la vie, it's my fault. I was going. It was like a few miles past the speed limit, but it happened. So yeah, I've got the tickets now, so I've got to sort that out. But
And this all came from the
bad
fact that
timing.
yeah. And it wasn't even it was that you actually tapped into something that was a bad
I
place to
did
tap
something. Yeah,
into.
I did something. So there's something called date selection, which is to do with timing. So you look at the time and the date of a special event, and or a particular type of energy where stars are sort of aligned, and you do some kind of activity. So you can do breaking the surface, such as say banging a nail into wall, as if you were hanging a picture. Now, if I'd have waited, that bad star would have gone, and I wouldn't have had. Yeah,
Mm.
but I was panicking because I wanted to catch the good star. If I'd have
Never good to
just
do something when you're
no,
panicking.
no, it's daft. Anyway, live and learn. So yeah, so with date selection, you can do something where you activate a particular type of energy based on the time and the date, and for most animal signs, it works. Not maybe not exactly the same, but it works in a similar fashion. It can be very positive, and it can really boost your income. It can boost, or if you do a bad start, you can lose some income. But if you do it right, then you can help with all sorts of different things. It's not just money. It can help with relationships. It can help kids if they're feeling a bit insecure, if they're having a hard time at school. It can help with harmony. It can help with your own body awareness and nutrition and well-being. It can help you relax if you wanted to go a little bit more yin and soften up. There's loads of applications. So one of the things that you and I discussed was sort of bringing more attention to this in a timing way. So we've decided that I'm going to do some Twitter.
Oh, you're going on to that. That's a fun
Well,
segue.
no, I just thought. One we don't want to have a long podcast. We're going to,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. But before we move on to that, so in that case study with timing and moving things in your house, I feel like that had a very instant
yeah,
reward. I
yeah,
mean, negative or positive, it was very
yeah.
instant.
Yeah. Very quickly, I got a rap on the knuckles for sure. Yeah.
But I feel like you can get effects that are more like a ripple. Like,
There's lots of different things. So a lot of people just assume it's very simple, and in many ways it is. A lot of it is obvious, but well, to me it is. But there are you do have to watch what you're doing. You can't just take things for granted because you might inadvertently trigger something that could be a little bit unpleasant. Even some good stars carry side effects. We've had that when I did the water method before. So not only can you knock a nail in a wall, you can do a water method where you fill up a large vessel of water and you put a pump in there. That's where
we spoke about that in our workshop
yeah,
as well.
but we went wrong because in that method we didn't use the pump. We just used the still water, and it brought up a lot of emotional stuff that we weren't
That
expecting.
wasn't in the workshop though. That was years and years before when I was a
Yeah,
teenager.
yeah, years ago.
We had so those that came with us to the workshop. We had that pump that
Was
when
just
Mum
too
tried it,
powerful.
yeah, like there was like a cyclone of water onto the ceiling. So don't do that unless
No,
you
but
want
no,
to clear it up.
yeah, and the
But
laptop was
stagnant
there.
water, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
still water, no good. You need
Mm.
moving water. So an aquarium. You can have. That's why fish are sort of symbolic with a lot of feng shui cures because they move through water. But it's
Okay.
keeping the water sort of water is a
Alive.
yeah, it's a very powerful form of energy. And if you there's some years ago, I used to use this tube which had things inside.
Marbles?
Yeah, do you remember? It used to have a
Mm.
spiral, and they
Yeah.
would bubble up. But if you cover it, the energy's trapped. It's not able to escape and energize the room. So if you're and the same thing with aquariums, they come with a lid because obviously water will evaporate. So I find the vessel. Without the fish, but using a pump to be far more effective because you don't need it to be there all the time. Because with the timing dimension, if it is a fish tank, yeah, you can put it on a good star. You've got the flying stars of your home, so you can put it there, and most of the time it's going to be fine. But now and again, you're going to get a little negative star just sort of working its way in, and it's going to be activated. So that's where you get the side effects. So I prefer to use the water method with the pump because you can leave it there for a couple of days and make a difference. You can leave it there for maybe 2 weeks, which should be enough to make a big difference, and then you can put it away.
So that's an interesting thing with timing. It's so there's like the comparison of like putting a tiny nail into the wall and then like pulling it out again.
Yeah, like
That's the, like
acupuncture.
yeah, that's like there for like a split moment.
Hmm.
But then on the other side, you've got this big pot of water, this moving pot of water, and having that for 2 weeks,
Max,
that's going to have a much more significant effect than
no,
just
no,
that little
no,
pin.
no. The pin thing's going to have an instant effect. It's like acupuncture.
So how can we find out
And there's another
when?
method, the one you spoke about when you first broached this subject, which, by the way, we didn't prepare for. We didn't discuss really, did we? We went straight into it. But you
Yeah,
did mention about people moving their furniture.
yeah.
That's another method. You're changing the dynamics, you're changing the energy, you're moving a heavy mass with effort, your own human sort of engagement with that. You're changing the shape the dimension, the overall look, all your senses are going to be activated, and the energy of the room will change accordingly. But if you do it on a good day, you're going to magnify the good stuff. If you do it on a day or a time where there's some bad juju, then you're going to get a little dollop of that as well, and you have to work through it. Now, the good thing is it won't last forever, but it does bring through sometimes a little bit of a painful reminder. Now, my painful reminder was I should slow down and pay more attention to picking up my handbag every time I go to Nan's, because I mean, most times I'm good, but sometimes I'm a little bit tired or I'm a little bit overwhelmed or what have you. Life gets in the way and I do silly things. Well, that's now going to stay in my sort of consciousness for a while, and I'll make sure I do not speed and I do not do silly things because it's going to bite me in the bum. So,
But it makes
you
good
know,
stories.
it's a lesson, you know.
So, how, when, and where can people find out when they need to be doing acupuncture in the home
Mm.
or big water vessels? Where do they find that out? They now
Okay,
know the benefit of it
yeah,
and the things to maybe the risks of doing it
yeah,
without
on the wrong
finding out the
time and the
knowledge.
wrong date,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So there's a couple of different ways we can do it. So one of the things you and I discussed was the benefit of doing a daily little tweet or
Ah, okay. Now I see the segue. Yes.
yeah. So I'm happy to try that. We
So, Mum's going to be doing tweets in the near future. Every morning when she's going to work on the train, she'll be writing a tweet. And our Twitter is at Smashing Secret. So please support us, support Mum. She doesn't use Twitter.
dinosaur.
And yeah, please come and support us and see useful tips along the way.
Yeah, help me.
And Mum's new to Twitter, so yeah, give her a like.
Well, I mean, I'm eager to learn. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the techie one, but I'm definitely the one that can.
And the threads as well.
Yeah.
We're
So
gonna get on that.
yeah, I'm up for learning, and I hope you can help me if I get stuck.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
but I can definitely tell people about what's going on that day.
Okay.
So I
That's
can just
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, as we've got everybody's different, everybody's individual. People will have their
Mhm.
own individual charts based on the year, the month, the day, and the hour of their birth, and where they are in their luck pillars. So every luck pillar lasts for 10 years. Again, we've got a timing dimension, and after 10 years, you move into a new luck pillar, which will have another dynamic. So it's not going to that tweet's not going to affect everybody exactly the same way because we're all made up energetically and we're all at different energetic cycles of our creation. So we have to keep an open mind, but at the same time, if somebody wanted to really nail if somebody's got some big event coming up or they're feeling a bit anxious or they're feeling a bit nervous, there's several options that are available. Two options actually, yeah, for now. So one is the Patreon. I'm going to start putting date selection in there, the general one. So when we've got days that are really good for new beginnings, success days, elimination days, if you want to start a diet or you want to break a bad habit, if you've got some bad habits, there's certain days where that's going to be a little bit more boosted, that kind of energy effect. So I'm going to put those on for all of our Patreon members. So by all means, anybody who's curious, have a look, join our Patreon. And there'll be loads of stuff added all the time. So there will be other things to help you. The other thing is on our website, where one of our services we offer is an individual analysis of somebody's chart. So we're looking at every element of what's going on. We can incorporate the flying stars of their home if they're happy to send us a floor plan and the date or rough approximate date within, a couple of years if possible. But certainly, I don't need to know the actual date that it was constructed, but I'd love to know the year it was constructed and also the time that they moved in. I need to know the facing direction of the building. I can work a lot of it out myself if they book me for an individual reading. Then we have this little email exchange, and then I can
It's all
basically,
virtual as well.
yeah, I do it all by Zoom or we can
Like
do
you've
it.
had clients from all around the world
Oh
now.
God, yeah, loads.
Sometimes you do have to go there. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
was invited to Aruba years ago, and this was before the internet was such a big deal. And
Wow.
yeah, and I was, to be honest, I was scared because I didn't want to leave you. You were a wee little chubby little toddler. So I didn't want to leave you. I wouldn't have left you on your own, obviously, but I didn't want to leave you for a long period of time with, Nan or whoever was looking after you. So I didn't go. But I've been to some fabulous places with amazing properties. I mean, incredible. I mean, to be honest, there's so many beautiful parts in the world, and you just sometimes you visit them because if you know there's a good time and a good day, you don't just have to activate your home to tap into it. You can actually go to a sort of sacred place, say an area of outstanding beauty, or you can go to say a temple or a shrine or somewhere where you just feel really kind of zen, where you feel
Mm.
really relaxed. Some people sit by the ocean. I was having a conversation with a girl today, and she was saying how she just completely feels peaceful when she sees the sea. I mean, there's loads of things you can do, but just sitting and doing some breathing, doing some nice relaxation techniques, having a nap,
Mm.
you just let go of all the chit chat in your mind and you tap
Mm.
into that
Mm.
energy,
Mm.
absorb it, and it stays with you.
And it's finding, like, I feel like with the date selection, you're aligning with the energies around
Yeah.
you to get the best
Yes.
sort of effect from
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
definitely do stuff like that.
And with the date selection, you can find out when there's dates which are not so useful and times where you've actually got a collection of like kind of, I was going to swear, but crappy stars, but you can avoid them, you
Yeah,
know.
no, absolutely. It's like I follow the moon, and it's almost like it gives you a forecast, like you get like a weather forecast. You can
Mm,
see like, okay, like next week Thursday there's going to be a little bit more rain. I'm going to stay indoors. I'm just going to get a little bit cozy. The moon does the exact same thing for me. I could be like, oh yeah, the moon's going to be in Pisces. I know that that's going to make me a little bit more sensitive. I'm not going to push myself. I'm going to say no to this social event because I know that I'm going to have the best sort of day if I just have a bath and I'm just like with myself.
mm.
And I feel like this is the exact same like
But
formula, right?
imagine you're getting a tweet every day that tells you a little bit about the moon, but can also give you another little edge, which is about your where your animals are in your chart. So
Hmm.
I can say, for example, your year of the dog. So for all those born year of the dog, this will be a great day for XYZ.
Yeah, see, that's really
And
useful. Yeah.
yeah, so that will come through as well because there's different combinations of energy. So the moon is
Mm,
there for everyone, and everyone's going
mm,
to have a certain emotional connection. And the moon
mm.
in lots of in formula is very important for wisdom, for knowledge, for self reflection, for inner work.
Yes, it's
And
your inner world.
your inner work is so hugely important for
Mm,
vibrational energy because that
mm,
can have a massive effect on timing. If you're
mm.
vibrating at a very low heavy frequency, you're not engaging, you're not enthusiastic, you're not happy, you're not satisfied. There's that kind of heavy energy, and we can all be affected at any time. It can come in.
We're
So
human. We're not robots.
exactly. But the idea is not to feel bad, not to kind of indulge in it and go deeper, but to
Mm,
recognize
mm,
what it is and
mm-hmm.
to work consciously on raising your vibration.
Yeah.
And feng shui can do that. Feng shui in your environment, you can make your environment so potent and so finely tuned with you that just being there makes you happy.
Mm,
And that can speed things up in terms of results
mm,
because the
mm.
lighter your vibration, the higher your vibration, the quicker things happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, even like on a really like tangible level, like I know that it's so spooky now. Like every time I go to the gym and I really get my blood moving and I'm like really like active, like
mm,
my
mm,
physical energy level is like a lot faster. It's so spooky. Like I always get opportunities come through my emails nearly like instantly. Just being like, oh, we've got a job for you. Are you interested in this? And I'm like, yeah. But it's so funny. Like even just going to the gym and just like moving my body
yeah,
and just having
It's
my heartbeat
energy.
moving. It's literally energy. Then
Yeah.
I'm getting these like opportunities. It's
Yang
like
energy is
it's so
movement.
spooky. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like
Do it.
in
Do
just
it.
in terms of timings, that's instant. And
Yeah.
yeah, like an energy thing.
I've just seen the time. I've got to go. So
So mum and I are trying making shorter podcasts.
because
So
Chloe
what
and
mum
I
just did,
busy.
yeah, mum and I have got a lot of work to do on the Patreon and other things. And mum saw 30 minutes. She was just like, yeah, so I'm gonna have to cut this off for now. But yes, we do want to make them more shorter so that we can spend more time on creating content for our
That
socials
you
and
can
Patreon.
use. Make
Yeah,
it
exactly.
work. Make it useful. Make feng shui work for you. Boost your good luck and
Mm,
minimize, decrease, and dissipate your bad luck. You know, that's
yeah,
what it's all about.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for our timing episode today. I found that very nice, very useful.
I enjoyed it. It was good. Apart from my
Yeah.
bodgy introduction, what happened
Oh,
there?
that's fun.
Got no idea. I was very embarrassed.
No, that's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this 49th episode. You will be catching us in 2 weeks' time for our 50th. We're going to have to do something special. Maybe, I don't know, I have a think. Maybe we can ask some questions from the public. Maybe we can try to find 50 questions to ask you in 30 minutes just to really wind you up.
For a challenge.
Yeah.
Did you accept this
I don't know,
challenge?
we'll think of something. I'll think of something.
Oh, that reminds me of Mission Impossible. You know the girl I was saying about.
Mum,
Okay, yeah, time to go.
can you tell me that in 10 seconds?
Okay, this beautiful girl I spoke to on the phone today, really lovely, all new to feng shui. Started to work for her, so she'd been paying for.
8,
Okay, so
9.
I dared her to become a Reiki master, and she's dared me to go to the cinema, Marianne, and I'm going to go and see Mission Impossible.
Excellent. Nice. All right. And on that lovely, joyful note,
Unless you
goodbye,
want to come.
everyone. Maybe. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on our Instagram where we are doing monthly updates where you can find some feng shui tips and tricks written by Mum. Otherwise, you can find us on our Patreon where Mum's written like 18 pages worth of your monthly forecast when you break it down into your day and your month and
The
your
flying
hour and your
stars
year.
for money.
There's flying stars. There's like
Harmony.
your master sign. Like I'm Yang Metal, Mum's Yang Water. You can find out how every month you really to the tiny detail are going to be affected for the weeks to come, and it's a great tool to look back into.
And
So you can find us there,
I'm going to.
or you can find us on YouTube where you can watch us. I'm going to sneeze. Carry on talking.
I'm going to do some cheat sheets so that you can find out which peach blossoms. So peach, as if you this is new, peach blossoms are certain special stars that will bring energy to do with celebrations and good fortune, really lovely energy. And everybody's got one or two that are especially shiny, and I'll show you how to find out which one's especially shiny for you.
Hashtag cheat sheet. So come along and find us online. We're fun to watch. We're fun to read. We're fun to listen to, and we're fun to ask questions to. And I will leave you with one call for action, and that is we've just started doing videos on YouTube, and it would be fabulous if you could subscribe to our channel because we'd really love to keep building this community, and it takes just 2 seconds of your time and it makes like the world of difference to us, and it would really mean a lot.
Thank you.
And yeah, I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend.
Me too. Thank you for listening.
Bye,
Lots
everyone.
of love. Bye.
Bye.